Hello, everybody. David Tyler here once again with another Freefall episode. 30 days, 30 bands, all live music. Going over my live album collection. And uh, when I first decided on doing this, I didn't know what was going to become of it. I was debating on whether I should do a ranking of the live albums or do certain bands, whatever. But I decided, or start at the first of the month of April, But the weekend I decided to do this. It was the beginning of end of winter, the beginning of spring. I thought, hey, let's. I don't want to really copy anybody else that does music on here per se. Like Pete's been doing. Pete Pardo of Sea of Tranquility's been doing uh, his favorite bands and albums from 50 years ago and 40 years ago, and then he just completed 30 years ago, 1992, which has been really cool. I've been keeping track of that, and it's really been fun. So I really didn't want to copy that, so I decided to do this to welcome in spring. And when I started out, I was doing all the bands in alphabetical order. I started with AC/DC, then moved to Blue Oyster Cult, Black Sabbath, so on. I was let people know what was going to come up, but I thought, no, let's keep it a little bit mystery. So I decided to mix it up and let it be a surprise. And so far, I haven't got really a great response on it. And I was really thinking about discontinuing it. But then I thought, no, I don't want to give up. I don't want to. I want to. I committed to this. I'm going to see it through till I believe the 17th, 18th of April. So if you want to watch this, fine. That's what it's here for. It's just for information, so people don't forget these bands that I love. A lot of people love. I know uh, I've got comments about how well, yeah, it's nice you go over and review these bands and stuff, such and such. But are they still relevant? And they are. Maybe not for everybody, but they are for a lot of people. Last September, I went seen Styx, and before I get into today's choice, I want to touch upon this. Last September, I went seen Styx live down at the Utah State Fair. The place was sold out. Me and my sister, we had a fantastic time. The concert was great, and I was happy. I mean, everybody was happy. We had a great time. I mean, this took me back to the days of my youth, and it was fun to spend time with my sister, and you know, well, it was great. Uh, the other day, I was watching a little video portion of Styx in concert, and Tommy was up on stage saying, talking about how when Styx began with Chuck and John Panazzo, and I was reading the comments, and there was a couple of them saying, "Well, this is just a Styx cover band. No Dennis DeYoung, no Styx." It's incredible how negative people can become, how tribal we can become, and it's just not Styx that uh, is a has affected. Um, like Deep Purple and Judas Priest, all bands. I mean, the only ones that would say wouldn't be affected, some negative way in this kind of area of band members leaving and different band members coming in and people being unhappy and uh, would be like ZZ Top and maybe King's X, bands that didn't really change their lineup. I don't know, really don't know the history too much of King's X. I haven't studied that much, but ZZ Top. There's some other band members at the beginning before they became ZZ Top, but the uh, Dusty, Frank, and Billy, they've been there all these years, ever since the beginning. Of course, we've lost Dusty this past year, or was it last year or this year? Well, no matter. We lost Billy, and this new guy, I can't remember his name, stepped in, and you know, Dusty. Did I say Billy? We lost Billy. We lost Dusty. I'm sorry if I said that. This guy's really stepped in and helped the band continue. And Dusty wanted the band to continue. So, but then you get these other bands that, like, let's say Pink Floyd, for example. Roger left. A lot of people went with Roger. A lot of people stayed with Floyd, with David, Nick, and Rick. There are people who say, "Oh, sorry, no Roger, no Pink Floyd." It just we just get so tribal and so negative toward change. And I'm not going to say that I haven't done the same thing. I have. But I've tried to rein myself in and say, well, okay, this is just me. I'm not going to go out and say, well, because Rick Willis left or was fired from Def Leppard and Phil Collen came in, I'm not going to listen to Pink or Def Leppard anymore because that's no longer Def Leppard. And it's really not just that too. I mean, a lot of music styles change with bands. I've heard a lot of people, they say the only good Def Leppard album was the first one, On Through the Night. Second one, yeah. But after that, to them, there's no Def Leppard. But we got to stop being so negative. I mean, it's right across the board with everything. But please, people, listen to these bands. If they change personnel, give them a chance. Give them a chance. If you don't like it, fine, that's you. But don't go out and say, "Oh, sorry, no Dennis DeYoung, no Styx. They suck. They're horrible." No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not horrible. They're just different. One comment said, "Oh, they had Anthony Zareb on keyboards." I'm like, really? It just blows my mind. Ugh. So anyway, enough of the rant. Let's throw that in there. So anyway, today's band that was basically started out in the late 70s by a very well-known bass player by the name of Steve Harris. Of course, I'm talking about Iron Maiden. And me and Maiden have, got an up and down history, let's say. Get to my... I've got a lot of history here, too. Okay, here we are. All right. And what I mean by history, Iron Maiden is a band that's like a river that's the same, but it meanders and changes course quite often. And a lot of times the course change is taken in directions that I haven't liked, but eventually that course has come back and found the course that I particularly love. Um, I did a ranking of the albums not too long ago, and the most current albums, Book of Souls and Senjutsu, they're good. Um, Book of Souls, excuse me, I'm not really 100% a big fan of. I'm thinking, eventually it'll grow on me. Senjutsu is starting to grow on me. Um, Basically, I just need to get out there. I just need to get some copies. So, those are the only two albums I don't have yet. I should be ashamed of myself. Final Frontier, before that, those two, I really like. A lot of people hate that album, but I really like that album. A Matter of Life and Death, I'm not really impressed. But anyway, we're here to talk about live. Here to talk about the live albums. And the first one is really a mini LP. It's not a big, humongous thing, but it's still live. And far as I know, it's the only live album with original lead singer Paul Diano. Made in Japan. It's also the only live album that I know of with Clive Burr on drums. Here you don't have too many songs. Be really, I can't help but thinking, but there's got to be more live music that was recorded with these songs. I mean, if there is, they should do a remaster, offer maybe a double album, double CD. But on here you got some great songs. Running Free, one of my favorite from the early years. Remember Tomorrow, another one of my favorites. Rothschilds, great. Killers, good song. I'm not a big fan, but it's still a great song. And Innocent Exile, great. 5 great songs, but it'd be great if they would redo this and put out a double vinyl or a double CD. I mean, let's see if there's the band on the back. Look how young they are. And poor Paul, he doesn't have any hair left. So, anyway, but what's great is Steve, Dave, and Adrian's still part of the band, even though Adrian left for a while. So anyway, right along here, the big one here, their very first big live album, released October '85. I'm talking about Live After Death. I mean, just fantastic artwork by Riggs. I think that's who did the. God, I can't remember this stuff. Yeah, Derek Riggs. Keep getting Derek Riggs and Ransom Riggs, the author, mixed up. So anyway, it's one of the downfalls of vinyl. It's too big to do something like this. I mean, I love that stage show. I've got this live video of this concert tour. I think that was done recorded in Long Beach Arena, but just fell in love with that concert. I mean, it starts out with Churchill's speech, of course, and dives right into Aces High. Just I just love it when a concert starts with all that energy. Just gets you going. And 2 minutes to midnight, fantastic. A lot of people that song has soured with a lot of people, but I still love it. The Troopers, great. Revelations, good. Not a big fan of that song. Flight of Icarus, not a big fan. But then side two, it starts out with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. That song is just awesome. It's long. Let's see, yeah, 13 minutes long, 3 seconds over 13 minutes. But it's awesome on the Power Slave, but on this album, it's just twice as awesome. Then that goes into Power Slave, the title track from the album, and then the title track from Number of the Beast. You know, Great 1, 2, 3 punch right there. Side three, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Another great song from Number of the Beast. Then Iron Maiden is there. If there's one song by Maiden that I don't like, it's their self-titled or song Iron Maiden. I can all the years I've listened to that, I just cannot get into that song. If you love it, great. I just don't. I don't know. It's just too repetitive. I don't mind repetitiveness, but when it gets too much, I just can't get used to that song. Of course, then "Run to the Hills" and "Running Free" ends the or that portion of it. Side four, Rothschild, 22 Acacia Avenue, Children of the Damned, Die with Your Boots On, and Phantom of the Opera. I don't understand. I've never understood why they put all those songs on side four when the concert basically ends with "Run to the Hills" and "Running Free." I've just never got that. Why they didn't place those songs in a regular track order, I have no idea. It's just strange. But anyway, it's still a great album. Check that out. So moving right along, let's see. Next one. Now, a real live one. I had that on cassette. What happened to it, I have no idea. But it's not one of the really popular versions. I wasn't really impressed with it. It starts out with "Be Quick or Be Dead," which is okay. From Here to Eternity's okay. The infamous "Can I Play with Madness?" A lot of people are sick of that, so am I. I'm kind of sick of that, but not as much as I don't hate that as much as I do Iron Maiden self-titled song. "Wasting Love's okay. Tail Gunner's great. Evil Men Do is great. Afraid to Shoot Strangers, good. Bring Your Daughters to the Slaughter, all right. Heaven Can Wait. Love that song. It ends with "Clairvoyant" and "Fear of the Dark." Good concert, but not really strong. So I really, like I said, I had that. I might still have it someplace, but I don't know where it's at. There's a real dead one. I never got into that, but then we got, let's see. Next live album I got is released. See, when's the release date here? Where is it? I don't have a release date. It was never released. Oh my gosh. because that's the video. Where is the album? Okay, I guess released May 25th, 2009. The heck? Anyway, Flight 666. Now this one is just as strong as Live After Death, I think. And of course, people say, "Well, that's because it's just a copy with just some extra songs thrown in." Davies, what the hell? Yeah, but it's still. I mean, I think out of the two, I would have a tough time deciding which one would be my number one and which would be my number two. I mean, they're both strong, regardless, having basically the same track listing with different songs added in. I mean, of course, starts with Churchill's speech, Aces High, then goes into 2 Minutes Midnight, Revelations, Trooper. Wasted Years comes after the Trooper. They did away with Flight of Icarus. Then goes Number the Beast. Of course, then Can I Play with Madness? Rhyme of the Ancient Mariners, fantastic on this one. Power Slave, then that leads into Heaven Can Wait, great. Run to the Hills, Fear of the Dark. Fear of the Dark, probably one of the strongest songs off that album. The rest are okay. Can't remember what I ranked that at, but I think it was pretty low. But anyway, of course, then you have Iron Maiden, followed by Moonchild, Clairvoyant, and Hallowed Be Thy Name. Great, great album. I mean, doing the Somewhere in Time tour. There's Head Force 1, the first one. I mean, I would seriously probably this and Live After Death probably very strong, close together. I mean, the only problem I would have with this one is Can I Play with Madness being on here. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of that, but what can you do? So anyway, check them out. All great. Especially check out the live DVD for this. I believe, if I remember correctly, each song was filmed in a different location, different site. So I don't know if they don't list that here. But anyway, check them both out. The CD and the DVD. Just great Iron Maiden at their most vicious. So there you have it, Iron Maiden, Flight 666, Live After Death, and Made in Japan. And like I said, hopefully they'll someday reissue this one with more songs that Paul Di'Anno deserves to have. Songs that he helped sing and create out there more live. So, and the first two Iron Maiden albums I just love. Don't get me wrong, I love Bruce, but those they hold a special place in the Iron Maiden discography. So anyway, check them out. Give them a chance. So before I go, please subscribe. I know I'm really not that an exciting person, but I try. I'm not going to. I said I was ready to stop this, but I thought, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to see this through. If you want to watch, great. If they don't, hey, that's you. So anyway, have a good day. Please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment down below, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see y'all on, I think this is 13, day 13. I'll see you on 14.